Hello, it's Jesse here. We're back with work on this 74 Norton engine rebuild. It's become an engine rebuild because of the fact that we got to do some cylinder work also on top of this lower end work. We just got this crankshaft back from the machine shop. They removed the old races. We're going to be heating up the cases here coming up and dropping the old bearings out. We got a set of new Andover bearings. They're from Andover, anyways. They're actually FAG brand bearings, these are really good bearings. There's a bunch of different bearings out there that are available, along with NOS ones. But the problem with the real ones is they're not good compared to the newer ones because of the way their retainers and stuff are made. Like, we have real brass sections in here. The main we had an option of getting a different NOS bearing, but we stayed away from it because it's kind of the same bearing that the Combats used, which was the downfall of the Combat because they would break down pretty much. Isn't that how it went?
Yes.
So then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be heating up the case, like I said, just enough to where the bearing falls out. Then we're going to turn around and drop in this room temperature cold bearing the correct way, which we'll be talking about that in a minute here. And then we want to make sure that this race piece here goes the same way on the correct side of the crankshaft. So we have the timing side and we have the output side. So we want to see this side of the bearing on the inside of the crankcase here. Kind of like this one is. And so there's two sides of this bearing like you just seen. The other side has those little pieces, these little squares. That needs to be towards the inside of the case. And same with this retainer, or the race here. It's got to be like this on here. So we're going to get ready to go heat this thing up. Drop these out on both the halves. Alright, so we're getting ready to heat the cases, and we're going to use this as a heat source to get the cases just hot enough for the bearing to fall out. So we got the grate thing removed off the top here. We're going to put a fancy little grill thing on the top and then set the case on it, hit case half on it. And in theory, the bearing will fall out when it gets to a certain temperature.
Oh, it will.
It will.
Yep, it will.
Alright, so let's see what happens here. Then we have to do this to the whole other side.
It may take 15-20 minutes.
So we'll come back. We probably won't be able to see it, just sit here and watch it happen. So in the meantime, while that one's sitting over there on the heater, we're going to clean up this half. Like we did
to get the oil out of it.
Yeah,
otherwise it's going to drip on that.
Yeah, we did that we cleaned the other one before we put it on there. But anyway, we got to make sure we get these bearings referenced the right way, and then we got to heat up the bearing and slide on here as well, the race part. So anyway, there we go. Just like that, we got it out.
Now we're going to drop this one right in.
Yeah.
They just drop right in.
It pretty much did right there at the last second.
Okay, so now we got to heat this up, and we got to put this on
The crank.
the crank on the same side.
So now we have
This is the drive side.
So we're gonna go heat this up quick. Our new one. This, I guess I grabbed an older one. He's on it already, sitting over there. So we're gonna put this on the cold crank when it gets warm. It's gotta be the same side as we have this bearing on, so the drive side. There we go. We got it. We got it pressed on there. The cold crank here, and then that's very hot, so I'm not gonna touch that. But this is the drive side. That shaft. So it'll cool down and be stuck.
It's already stuck.
Yeah, so now we're going to flip it
Now
over.
we're going to flip it over.
And then
now
we'll
we got to put this one on.
We'll be ready for, now we're going to put that on the oven. It took about 9 minutes with this thing at full blast, so works pretty good. We're looking at like close to 10 minutes here. It should be falling out any second, I would think. So I don't know, you want to try pushing it with your finger?
Them rods don't help it.
There it went. All right, now we're gonna hurry up and
help it a little.
Hurry up and put their bearing in now. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and wipe it.
Yeah, that's right.
Make sure there ain't no dirt or nothing in there.
We gotta make sure we put it in the right way. We didn't talk about that last time, but we talked about it earlier. Where we gotta have these little pieces here, these little squares inward.
Yep.
So, all right.
All we're gonna do is just drop this in here. Well, we should be able to drop it in there.
There, man.
Okay, where's the other piece? I gotta put that on the...
All right, the race, putting it on the little oven thing right now. So, all right, it's gonna be cooling down, and then flip this over and get the crank on here.
Send it on the bearing.
Oops. Okay.
The old bearing.
All right. You can now let that warm up a little bit over there on the heater.
Oh yeah, that's hot.
There we go. Just like that. All right, we'll let this stuff cool down, and we'll be ready to assemble the engine. There we go. We got the connecting rods here ready to go. Remember a while back in the first part of this video, the bearings were looking pretty good. Actually, I think it was part 2, but anyways, the bearings were looking pretty good in the connecting rods. So we just ended up buying a new set of standards because we didn't have to do nothing to the journals in the crank. So we're going to swap them out. Then we're going to torque the caps down. They get torqued down to 25 foot-pounds. We're going to use red Loctite. So we're going to get some lube on there for right now. Stuff is thick stuff and doesn't move very fast.
Assembly lube.
But yeah, it's assembly lube, so need to put that on.
Probably should leave it upside down for a while. And we'll put some in the bearings.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna get prepared here, and we'll start working on that. Here we go. So anyway, if you remember back in one of the first segments of, I think it was part 2 or whatever, when we were taking it apart, we had marked the rods with a D for the drive side and a T for the timing side. And when these got put on, we'll mention this again, they get the oil hole to the outside. Isn't it outside?
Yep.
Because if it goes to the inside, then it'll get in the way and
It's the
of
crank.
the crank, out the wider part of the crank here, and when it shoots, and then it won't go nowhere. But hit this, and then it defeats the purpose. So make sure you reference that when putting this back together.
hole out.
Yeah, make sure you put the.
They're marked.
Yeah, they're
together.
marked. Yep, right there, they're marked. You're looking for the mark.
And I brake cleaned these.
Yeah, it's all nice and clean.
Oops. I forgot to clean these.
Right.
I'd rather wipe off some extra.
Right. So they torquing them down to 25 foot-pounds. Yeah, and this nut was Whitworth, so we had to get out the special sockets because we forgot that it wasn't that way when we took it apart. Okay, got it. I'll try to hold this.
Right now I'm still just trying to snug it up. Okay. Okay, we ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to also do this one a little bit and then I'll finish.
There we go. And this one. Yeah, now on the other side.
Let's do this again.
Yeah, double check it.
And do this one more time.
Yeah, we should be good then.
There we go. Wipe off all the excess. It might have been a little overkill.
A little extra Loctite.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as they all oozing everywhere and like still there. You covered it all. You got rid of it all extra. So
Okay.
yeah, I'd say it.
That's nice.
Nice. All right, now onto the drive side.
Guess we lost its prime.
Yeah, you left it upside right. So then I'll drain back into the bottle part of it.
I probably didn't have to put any on this because we did that to that, but this does not hurt anything. Okay. Wipe oil hole out. Mark and mark. Whoa.
Oh yeah, sorry, Loctite. got the cart, the horse in front of the cart. It's where I need to be, not a cart from the horse.
Let's try not to get so carried away this time.
Excited, you know. It's getting to be nice outside, and yeah, can't wait to ride this again. Hopefully this doesn't knock anymore.
They're not.
So yeah.
Well, it shouldn't. It's them bearings after I felt them out and rolled them over, they felt rough.
They felt weird?
Yeah.
Well, it didn't feel bad when they were
In the
when
case.
I'm rotating in the case, yeah, but
Once all the oil was in there, yeah. But now that they're dried,
they just feel weird.
they don't feel as good as they did.
So these new bearings from Andover should be the ticket, hopefully.
And they're genuine fags, so you spend the extra money to get the good stuff. That's how it is. Really?
Okay, yeah, something's going on with it. There we go.
We ready?
Yeah, I believe so. There we go.
This one's probably about ready to go. Yep. I always like double check.
There we are. Clean this one up too now.
That's nice.
Yeah, it doesn't like fall right away. So that
Well,
tells you.
assembly lube has something to do with that,
But yeah, also, I mean, it's
oh yeah, that's good.
you can also tell they're loose if they're not like that. It just fall instantly and.
It's nice.
All right, well, we're about ready to put this in the case of halves
Now
now.
we gotta.
So yeah, we gotta prepare the cases now. So yeah, looking good.
Okay.
All right, so we got these case halves all cleaned up. Of course, we did that mostly before we put the bearings in, but I'm just gonna go over this right now. We gotta make sure when we have this groove all nice and cleaned out, because we don't want any sort of like debris getting stuck in these grooves here on the one half. So when the other half locks into it, it engages properly. So now we're going to work on putting on some Loctite gasket maker. We've done this before with other projects. We're going to use 518 and just put a nice thin coat around it.
And on into the groove.
And it's
Both
it's aerobic stuff, so when it gets absence of air, it'll harden up or seal up, and then it's also any sort of like gas or anything or whatever.
Oil dissolves.
Oil dissolved. That's what I meant to say. So anyway, we're gonna work on this for a little bit here, and we'll get back. All right, so we got the gasket surface here all prepared, and we're gonna put this half on our fancy little box here.
I guess that'll have to do. Unless that one fits it better. We can try the other one, see if it fits more square.
Yeah, this box, in case you're wondering about it, this is actually for like a Harley. In the beginning when we did the UH motor,
Yeah, perfect.
the manual actually talks about making a box for working on the flywheel and putting the halves together. So that's what this box is for. That's what the hole is for in the middle. It holds a crankshaft, and it's perfect for like a Harley engine. But you know what? It works for like Triumph and this Norton because we've used it for both so far. So this is just a little backstory on that, in case you're wondering. All right, so then anyway, we're getting this pre-lube down here in the bearing. We're gonna get ready to put the flywheel in.
Put a little bearing oil. I'm gonna put a little assembly lube on this too.
There we go, looking good. All right, so this is the timing side. No, this was the drive side.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right, you switched it. So when we go to put the flywheel in, we'll just reference the shafts, and otherwise we have to take it back apart and flip it back over. But anyway, we're gonna get this one over here prepared, and then we'll get ready to put the flywheel in. Crankshaft assembly. All right, so we're ready to put the crank in. I grabbed the cam. The cam's sitting here. We can't forget to put that in. And then, yeah, so go ahead and, this is the drive side. All right. And then probably put the
Camshaft has come in over.
there you go. There's the cam. It's got the there's a
Yeah, washer's got to lay. Now, when you put the cam in, you got to lay this washer in behind this. Unless you pull this out.
you gotta put it behind the worm gear.
Yeah,
The drive operates off.
it's a spacer. Okay.
All right.
Now, in order to put this in, I got to hold the cam now.
All right. So I got the rods are ready to go. They're right up here at the top. Don't want them getting stuck behind anything. And to the there you go. And yeah, we're good to go. There it goes.
Yeah, I just had to line it up.
Those spacers, those conduits, they're the alignment pin, the hollow alignment pins. They are what makes it difficult to squeeze it together. So now we're gonna run the screws in here. We got 2 screws in the bottom, the slotted screw, and then we have a bolt, a couple bolts, and then
There's a bolt up here.
yeah, that was right. It's a bolt up here on this side, and then there's one that goes right here. Yep. So, and then there's nuts on the other side. We'll get to them. We gotta put this on the bottom and expose the top end and all that stuff. So as we squeeze it together, the gasket maker, Loctite stuff, 518, starts squeezing out along here, and we'll clean off the excess as it squeezes out when we go tighten these screws and bolts and nuts down. Alright, so we're wiping off all the excess so it isn't all stupid looking and goozy and red and crap hanging out. And then we torque down the nuts here. This is a 5/16 through stud, and this one was 15 to 18 foot-pounds. And then This bolt down here was the same way, 15 to 18 foot-pounds, and then the other one back there was 15 to 18, and this 1/4 inch stud right here was 12 with a 7/16 nut on it. So
we were afraid to give it 15.
yeah. So anyway, the bottom end's kind of together right now, so we're ready to actually get it ready to go into the bike, and then we'll probably build it from there. But we probably put the timing and stuff together.
Yeah, we're gonna put all this together yet.
Yeah, we'll put all this stuff back in, and then we'll be able to drop it into the.
See, this plate's got to slide in, and then this 3-corner plate, and then this tightens up over top of it. Then the oil pump goes on, intermediate timing gear, and the chain all in one chunk.
Yeah.
And this goes on, and then we gotta time that mark with the mark on there, and then remember we gotta have 6 plates between the teeth.
Yeah, 6 chain links
So
plates. So that'll be coming up here. So anyway, yeah, we're ready to move on to that.
Yep.
We're getting ready to install all the guts in here. So anyway, we need to lube up this bearing first before we put in, right? You know what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I already did it.
Oh, did you? Okay. And then, yeah, there's the plates. Gonna put this one on. It protects that bearing. And then there's a triangle shaped that goes on there. And then once that's on, we can put the key in. Then once that's in, we put the gear in.
I want to see how the other one. This one's the one that come out of there.
So this is the one that was originally in it?
Yeah, I want to see if it fits in easier. Because we're going to tap it in a little. Evidently. Yeah.
That's the new one?
Yeah, that one's kind of tight. See how this one fits up here. It's got to go in one or the other.
Right, so this key is like universal between the cam and the crank.
It's real tight. I don't know if I want to beat it. Okay, I'm going to use this one. We gotta tap this one in. Come on now. There, we're gonna have it inboard a little bit at the top so that when you pull this in.
And the gear, of course, only goes on one way. It's a timing mark to the outside.
Yes, the other side don't have a timing mark.
And the gear's also a little bit rounded on this side that goes out.
If I got the key in far enough, I gotta see. I don't think I got it in far enough yet. You gotta tap it in because think it went enough. Yeah. Maybe. Although it's pulling the gear, see?
Oh, yeah.
So it's still not in all the way yet. But we're getting close. There we go. Okay. Then, this on.
This got left-hand threads.
Yes. And I think we need a Whitworth socket for this. I could be wrong, but I bet I'm right. Yeah, I need to find my ratchet. We might need our rod too.
We gotta lock the rods.
And the book might have a torque setting for this.
Yeah, let's look that up. So what gear is that called? That's called the drive, oil pump drive.
Oil pump or pinion. Oil pump or pinion drive or something.
All right, well, while we got that ready there, we'll spend some time looking it up, I guess, quick. All right, so looking through the book here, it talks about to fit the oil pump worm gear, which is that one we were talking about that has left-hand threads. It says it can be tightened fully, but it doesn't give a torque spec. So it talks about how you can lock the engine with a metal rod that passes through the small eyes of both connecting rods, which we have done before. We're doing it again here. But anyway, we're going to torque it down to 50 foot-pounds, I believe, because the size of the nut, and it's left-hand thread, and it'll probably tighten itself more when it's running anyway, in theory. So, anyway,
This torque wrench don't do left-hand thread.
so we gotta get our left-hand torque wrench, but anyways, yeah. So kind of not very clear when it says tighten it fully. I see that a lot with a lot of the older bikes. So where it doesn't really give a spec. So anyway, let's go over there and tighten this worm gear up. All right, so we got the rod lock and the connecting rods, and he's going to tighten it down.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
All right.
That's good. That's tight.
All right. All right, then we can take this rod back out now.
Well, we have to tighten the cam. Yeah, for now. But we have
Yes.
to tighten also. We do the cams.
Yeah. So now we move on to the cam chain section of this part. All right. So first off, we're installing the key into the camshaft there.
Again.
This one we're gonna make. This is one of the original ones that we had, so we'll be able to reuse it because it's in good shape. It's got a couple little nicks, but ain't nothing.
I filed them smooth.
And we filed it smooth. So anyway, now we're just gonna tap it in the rest of the way. You will get to that.
I'm gonna try.
All right.
think that'll work.
Good. Also, the other thing we did was we put some oil down in here just to make sure the cam had some nice
There's
oil.
an oil hole right here.
Yeah, so we loaded it with the oil in that hole there.
Yeah, so all you got. Then I turned the cam. You just stick that down in there
And rotate the cam a little bit so they it feeds some fresh startup oil for it.
see the cam has got scrolling on it, and as you turn it, it sucks the oil right in it. So
cool. Yeah, so now we're on to the installing the chain part of this.
well, let's get the book out so I can refer to the book at the same time.
Yeah,
Because
so we gotta have.
I know what it is,
right?
but
So yeah, the book explains this part really good, but it has to go down as a set because this is a continuous chain. There are no master links in it and stuff. And let's see what the book says over here. All right, so certain books tell you different information, but it's the same information, just written differently. So like on this book here, it talks about how the alignment of the marks for correct valve timing, marks must be 10 chain rollers apart. So that's pins. So we got.
So it's after the mark. So it's right here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay. Another books will say they'll say plates.
And the other book that I got says 6 plates. So that's it's in this plate, so you count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because the pin that knot's on and that dot's on. So you count both of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or 10 pins. So it's correct right here.
Okay.
Now the other thing we got to do is there is a red mark right here. Don't let it come out.
Right.
There's a dot right there. Okay. So they put red paint on the edges for your ease. So what we got to do now
because the mark gets hidden behind the chain when it's down here.
We got to roll this over until I find the dot. There it is. See the dot? It's right here.
Yeah, there it is, right on top. Okay. Yeah, we see it right there on top.
Right there. Now I line that right up with the center of this pin. See the dot?
Oh, there it is. I had a hard time finding it again. It's on this tooth right here.
Yep, it's on that tooth.
Okay.
So what we do is we straddle that tooth between these two red dots. We put the dot right in the middle of this. And if we roll this, we're going to find that that's how that works. See, the dot is in between the two red marks.
Right.
So we are going to put it right to there.
Get the parts where the keys go in line up in the right spots, right? So that was the cam on. It's towards the top.
Line it straight up.
All right. That one doesn't have a key, of course, because that's the idler.
Yes, it's an idler. Okay, so it did move on us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so here we go. Well, guess what? We got to put this in before we put this on.
I wondered about that. Jeez. All right, well, let's set that back apart real quick here. Well, we knew what we had to do, but we made a mistake, so we're going to just play catch up real quick. So we're popping this back off quick. It'll be easy to...
Now we can even see it better. Okay, now we're going to take the rod out of there.
Here we go.
We're going to roll this back over. Put those up. Right like that. Put this up. 6. I can't check that often enough. Okay, so You see the key in there?
Yeah, it's towards this, like straight up from you.
We'll hold the cam still.
Okay.
Because I can't find it.
Yeah, it's not ready to hold it still.
I might not have it in far enough then. Is that it?
Yeah, I think you're there. Yep, you're there.
Okay, now.
All right.
A little here.
All right, so we got down in there. We got the red painted part there, forked in between that dot on the pinion on the main shaft gear here, the crankshaft gear, and yeah, tension should be good yet because we're using all the same parts and it was set right to begin with. So, well, we could talk about checking tension and what it should be at, but
We will.
so now we can put that gear back on.
And we can put this all back in.
All right, so that's fully engaged, and we can
there's
install
a nut
that.
for that. One side's shiny, one side's dull. So the shiny side was actually the side that went in there. So I'm going to put it back the same way. It's correct. Right hand thread.
Yes, left-hand threads on this, and then torquing it to 50 foot-pounds.
Okay. So let's find out. I don't think this is the same size. Nope, it isn't. We'll tighten this one first.
Run the rod back in here quick.
Get it off this step.
All right, there we go. Oh, leave it totally against the base.
Well, yeah, so it's level.
Yeah, level.
You
Yeah.
don't want to bend a rod.
Right.
Okay, we ready?
Yeah, left-hand threads. There we go. Okay. All right, so now we're going to lock the nut holding the cam drive sprocket in. It doesn't really talk about in either book that we got. They're both different. It doesn't talk about the actual spec for the torque there either. So we put some blue Loctite on just the nut, and we're going to torque it down to 40 foot-pounds because it's kind of a thin nut and a couple threads. So
Hold the box.
yep. Chain tension here. We have to check each section of the chain for the tightest spot compared to the loosest spot, and we have, like it says in the book, it says
install the washers, nuts, and tensioners so that the maximum up and down movement of the chain is 3/16 of an inch at the tightest point.
and we have that. We have a 3/16 as the tightest point in one section, and then the rest of the chain and some of the other spots all measure out to about a quarter. So that sounds like we have where we need to have it at. So
I think we're going to leave it.
so we'll leave it. All right, we'll move on to some more here. All right, so next we'll be putting on the oil pump. Okay, so in the book it talks about how we need to oil the pump, pre-oil it. It still has nice oil in it right now, and then you just load it up with oil in through the gears here, and then rotate it Yeah. And then we rotate the drive part of it, and it gets it all up inside there. So. Let me know we got some nice fresh new oil in it. And yeah, we got the gasket sitting right over there too. So
looks like it goes this way.
yep.
Okay, yep.
All right, let's start with the oil pump. We got to replace the every time you reuse or redo this, you're supposed to put a new one of these little rubber what do you call this? I guess a rubber gasket, I guess. They call it something in particular?
Yeah, it's the
Anyways, it's rubber little grommet thing that goes over top of the feed here, and then yeah, just replace it like it says, or you should anyway.
done. They call that.
Okay, so with these little rubber things, they get really smashed. That's kind of the whole purpose of having to put a new one in. So, and there's that. It's a 06-7510 for that overlooked part. There we go. Then we put the pump on, and then we tighten down the nuts 10 to 12 foot-pounds with no washers, like the book says. And then, of course, we'll dig this out. It's here. Alright, so we torqued this down to 10 to 12 foot-pounds. So we're going to convert it over to inch-pounds. So we're going to do 120 inch-pounds here.
Okay, we're ready.
Alright.
Okay,
There we go.
then we're going to put the oil pump seal on. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Because if you forget this, your motor will blow up because oil will splash out instead of going through here. I want to put some more oil in here.
Alright, well, we're getting ready to put the timing cover on. We just had the timing cover off not that long ago to replace some seals and stuff. And we're going to reuse the seals that are in that timing cover. And then the other thing we got to do, we're lube these up. Just make sure it's got some ready to go pre-lube. And then we'll put a seal saver on over here. And then we'll be able to slide the cam cover on, or the timing cover.
I gotta get the Allen out of there. We used that earlier to pull the
Oh, that's
sprocket.
right. Yep. We gotta take that back out.
Okay. There's that. This
This special tool.
screws in.
Yeah, it helps. It's a guide to help you from tearing that seal all apart.
You almost can't do it.
It's suggested you don't do it without it.
And you also oil it.
Yeah, right.
Or grease, whichever. But make sure it's nice and oily. And this is nice and oily.
Yeah, because that's where the other seal goes.
Yep.
The seal keeping oil from going going back. It's supposed to. The seals are just like the Tiger. If you watch the video when we put the Tiger one together, they go opposite directions. You got oil keeping the channel in the gear cover pressurized so it feeds properly, and then you got the other seal over here going the other way so it keeps oil from going in, and it stays in here. I think I explained that right.
There we go. I want to make sure everything is nice and oiled up. Want to give one chance at that?
Yep.
I think we got everything. Everything's been torqued. This is torqued. This is torqued. It's timed, so we're ready to.
And we got that
seal.
Yep. And we checked the cover to make sure it was clean.
Yeah.
So we're ready to put that on.
Yeah.
All right.
It's probably not now. There. Wait a minute. Now there's different length screws. There's some place in the deal where it talks about the long and the short screws.
All right.
Okay.
So I know we got. So we know these ones here are short ones. So we're gonna go figure out which ones where they all go. So anyway. Alright, so in this book here, it gives the real nice little detail here where the long ones and the medium and then the short ones go. So
The long one goes right here, right?
So we have the long one goes in the bottom left. And then
Say how long?
no, just the long. It looks like that must be the longest one when it says long, because the medium one would be like in between that and the short one. So anyway.
Where else do the longer, medium ones go? Up here.
All three on top right there. And then the three on the bottom.
And where's the other long one go?
The long one?
Medium.
Medium will go along the bottom.
Here?
Yep. The three along the bottom.
And the rest of them are short?
Yes, looks like it. Got one in the top left point. And then all front by the nose cone area there.
Okay.
All right. And then just put them, tighten them up in a,
Snug them up.
yeah, snug them up in like a sort of
Well, there's going to be a crack here yet because that seal, you got to scrunch it.
Oh yeah, that rubber thing we put on the oil pump.
Yep.
It's pressure, yeah.
Rubber seal. Pump seal. Oil pump seal. Conical seal. That's what they called it.
So yeah, I mean, we put stainless Allen head screws in here because they kind of look neat. It's not what the factory originally would have had. They'd have been slotted, straight slotted screws originally. But oh well, this looks nice. Personal preference there, I guess. So I'm gonna go look at the torque up for that while he's tightening these all up. Snug.
You're not going to use it?
No, well, I really couldn't find a torque spec for that. These Allens or these screws that hold the timing cover on. So we're gonna use our best judgment by just kind of know where a tight is, and just go around and tighten them all up. Next, we'll be able to put this in the frame now, the bike. Put it back in the bike. And then we'll build it the rest of the way in the bike. Got a couple left here. All right, well, yeah, there we go then, I
Away.
guess. I guess this will probably wrap up the building the lower end. I guess we'll probably move on to in the next segment, next video. We'll be putting the motor in the
We got a seal on the other side we could put in yet.
Oh, okay, we can talk about that. But we're gonna be putting the motor in the next video. We gotta put a seal in here yet. There's one for the other side, isn't it?
Yep.
The
Main shaft seal.
main shaft. The
Crankshaft seal.
yeah, the crankshaft seal on the sprocket side. So we'll flip that, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But anyway. Alright, so we're going to install the seal on the output side of the engine now, and there's a little keyway hole here we want
to protect the seal lip.
Yeah, so we're going to like
just past the edge of that with some black tape. Oops, not quite. I got to get it past that. There we go. No wrinkle. There we go. Oh, I didn't quite go far enough.
Yeah, but it's tapered. It might not be an issue right there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna risk it.
Okay. I wouldn't risk it
Tape's
either.
cheap.
Yeah. There we go. Looks better.
There, we're all the way on now. And then I oil that. I put oil in there too, just because. I want the seal to have some oil right away. This way the lip of the seal slips.
Right.
We don't need a lot of drippage.
All right. We'll drive it in there now.
Out a little bit yet. This isn't quite what I wanted.
No, it's not quite the right thing, but you're making it work, kinda.
We gotta have something that finishes right. It's not the right stuff. Not the right stuff.
All right, so we got the seal almost all the way in. We're gonna use a socket to drive it the rest of the way in. It's a little bit better and fits better. It's a 3/4 inch drive socket. And we just make sure it's flush all the way around.
Looks like it is.
Or the same. It's not in there crooked, is what I mean.
I think it's in. Really?
Yeah, so then it might go in all the way and then it just sticks out a little bit. So it feels about equal all the way around. So
Yeah. to dent it. And it looks the same all the way around. Okay, now we're going to take
our
tape off. Should have had the end on the top, I guess, where I can see it.
here.
I don't know where it is. It's over here somewhere.
All right, we'll find it. All right, well, there we go. We got in. We got the tape removed, and all right, the next video coming out, we'll be working on putting this in the bike and getting it ready to go. So the rest of the way. So hope you enjoyed all this segment here. It's pretty interesting. So we'll see you again soon.